Just see the huge harvestman, or Daddy Longlegs.
Huh?
Something a little bit unnerving about walking around with a backpack full of moccasins.
For a cottonmouth.
Brooding bears. It's amazing. Grasps the female. Big ones. I stepped on.
And cracks below the baseboards of your house.
I need to know what.
So, today, I thought we'd cover the types of creatures you could find in your very own house. The entire little unseen world that inhabits the areas of our feet, and untrodden paths and cracks below the baseboards of your house. I'll have more than most, seeing as there have been plenty unveiled by the fact that I'm moving and packing right now. So all the dirt and stuff you don't see under your furniture, it's all out. But because of that, so are all these little creatures. And going through cleaning and looking up in corners you never look at, as well as I'm in the country. So that adds to it. But there's a whole little world down here. We're gonna take a quick look at it. Nothing too in-depth. I gotta be out of here in a few hours to go to a training course. But I'm gonna give you a little slice of a little world of awesome. Let's get to it.
Our first house guest here is one that I'm sure neither us or he expected to be here, but he was. I guess he should get back outside. This next guy was a cute little deer mouse that decided to keep coming and visiting me while I was taking the first part of my course online. I was also working on a painting right next to it. He kept just almost getting the courage to come say hi, and he'd come look at me and then run right off when I got the camera. Then later, I had heard a noise over here and found out that now he was inside this box, sitting there munching on something on Han Solo, on that, it's a tin cup for popcorn. Anyway, I guess Han Solo tastes pretty good, because he just continues to nibble on there for a good bit until I scare him by trying to get too much of a close-up. He sure is a cute little fella. It's a shame if you get too many, they can tear up your wiring. And now we're getting more toward the creepy crawlies I think people think about when they're thinking of, what you wouldn't want in your house. This guy is a little spider, well, a medium-sized one actually, that I found on my mattress. I believe he's either a wolf spider or a hobo spider. I don't really have time to do the proper research to bring you any real information about them, or if either of those assumptions is accurate. I can assure you, though, that he's not dangerous. There are basically no truly dangerous spiders living in the United States. The only two worth any real concern at all are the brown recluse and the black widow, both of which are way vastly exaggerated of how dangerous they are, especially the brown recluse. And this guy is definitely not one. They are much smaller, much more pale in coloration. I will attempt to find one and do a little video on them if I can before I go. Then back in one of my other rooms, I found another one of these spiders trapped. It's a good thing I found him. This poor little fella could have died. He stuck to a piece of upturned duct tape that I had sitting in the room. So I went over and eventually I got a grip on him when he stopped throwing me, and I realized that he wasn't going to be able to move enough to try to get his fangs on me. And then I used a little tool I had over there to lift each one of his feet up carefully to release him, and then let him go from the hand I was holding him by. And thankfully, he seemed to appreciate it, as he didn't turn around and try to bite my finger. So everybody won. Here's the little guy right after I managed to save him. A lot of people get overly worked up about having spiders around their house, but really, it's not much worth worrying about. I mean, some of the ones like this can become rather unsightly where they have little webs up in your rafters and stuff. But all in all, they decrease the population of other bugs roaming around your house. And you like that, right? As well as they also take up places of living that other species of spiders would inhabit. Like this one's in a location that very well could have a brown recluse instead, but it doesn't because this guy's living there. And then running around on the ground in the other areas, well, you'll wind up having things like the wolf spider taking up territory that a brown recluse could be living in and eating the food that it would be eating, so now that there's no longer a place for it to live. So, seems beneficial. Over here in another part of the house, I managed to find another harvestman, like from the other episode I have, except for this guy's a different variety. He's got much shorter legs, and also seems to be giving us a better demonstration of how it is that they live and move around, using his feet to feel around and just behaving fairly normally, much less evasive and scared than the others seemed. In the mudroom, we have this little pillbug, a creature that I assume more sane people would probably find somewhat appealing or cute. These guys are normally found outdoors, hiding under logs and different rotten objects, eating decaying matter as well as the roots of different plants, and sometimes even have interesting markings on them, and you can see them with live brood underneath them. But this guy is for some reason taken to living in my house. Or maybe he hasn't. Maybe he's just lost. I suppose he'll find the door one day. So I wanted to do this straight to camera talk for you guys real quick on this one. I know in previous episodes I'd mentioned how I said they were rushed or less quality than I wanted, but that especially rings true in this episode. I wound up, when I initially saw the mouse in the first scene, I was sitting there on the ground taking a course on my laptop for an instructional course for motorcycles I have to go take here. Well, actually about now, so I gotta be leaving. It's morning now. I'm working on this episode all night, and then I have painting to work on and stuff. But when it really comes down to it, I can make all the excuses I want. In the end, I planned poorly and didn't use my time properly. So I got more in, but I didn't. Anyway, I hope that you at least get some sort of entertainment value out of this, even if it's less educational than my normal content tends to be. And also, I know that during this episode my house has wound up looking like a gargantuan mess, but most of that's just due to furniture being moved around and all the little bits of mess you never see and dirt being strewn about the entire house. I know I mentioned it at the top, but I just wanted to reiterate it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and as always, thanks for watching.